I'm glad to be here today, and I appreciate the opportunity to preach this morning. Always, I keep praying for their rich congregation, and I thank God for the good things that you are doing here. Today, we are going to look at the book of Hebrews, and I want you to get a main idea from this book that Christ's superiority is over the Old Testament. The superiority of Christ is over the Old Testament. Christ is superior than the Old Testament message. And we are going to look at the chapter 12 of the book of Hebrew. And the topic this morning is running the race toward the prize. Running the race toward the prize. The main idea of running the race toward the prize is to fight the good fight. And I thank Brother Deron for that song, hymn number 152, I believe. So we are going to look at some things over there that will help us run the race of faith. And we know the Christian journey is not easy, especially when we strive to live faithfully. It is not easy at all. It's like running a marathon, but not to receive a medal, but a crown of righteousness. Sometimes we feel the weight of discouragement. We feel the pressure to quit. But Hebrews chapter 12 will give us 3 things that we can use as we run. Sometimes also we think the race is far and the way is not good at all to tread on. And sometimes we think the finish line is just far away and we cannot get there. That is temptation to quit. No. Hebrews writer will give us 3 ways to do it. So I want us to open our New Testament to the 12th chapter of Hebrews. And we will take the text one by one. I'm using King James Version, and he said, wherefore, and the version that you are using says, therefore. Anytime you hear therefore, you have to wait and look for therefore. Therefore, or wherefore, do something. Hebrews 12:1. Wherefore, seeing we also, the writer include himself, are compassed about. The word compass here should be surround or surrounded. With so great a cloud of witnesses. With so great a crowd of witnesses. Let us lay aside. Underline, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which do so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Now, the writer says, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses. The writer says, there is a legacy to look upon. So the legacy to look upon is the Hebrews chapter 11, and we call it the Hall of Faith. We have about 17 men and women who had lived up to their faith. So when you look at Hebrews 11, 39 to 40, the writer pick it from there to write chapter 12. So these brethren leave their faith. They run the race and finish it. So the writer is telling us that we should look upon them, how they do it. He calls them a cloud of witnesses. They are not there to watch over us or observe us. They can't watch over us. Only God can take good care of us, can watch over us. But the writer meant we should follow their examples. We should look at them as a testimony to live our faith, to run the race. That is what the writer is talking about. Now, when we look at verse 2, it gives us the second thing we should hold on to, which is we need to look to Jesus. We need to do what? Look to Jesus. And also, we should run with patience. So these are the three things I want us to look at. Number one, lay aside what? The weights. Number two, run with patience. Number three, look to Jesus. So now, we are going to look at how we can lay aside some weight. And we see the writer distinguishes between weight and sin. The writer gives us the difference between weight and sin. They are similar, but they are different. One, sin is a transgression or a transgression of God's law. 1 John 3:4. Sin is knowing what is good, but refusing to do it. That is sin of omission. You know what to do, but you refuse to do it. James 4:17. And all unrighteousness is what? Sin. 1 John 5:17. And if you want to know what is all unrighteousness, you have to read 1 Corinthians 6:9 through 10. And also Galatians chapter 5, verse 19 through 21. And you see those things that God hates. So we have sin of commission, the first one, transgression of God's law, and the sin of omission, knowing what to do and refuse to do it. But the writer said something I want us to look at. They said, sin, which do so easily beset us. Other translations said, entangles us. What are those sins? Let us look at them. Number one, pride and arrogance. You see, the absence of love is pride and arrogance. So when you get rid of love, all you have is pride and arrogance. James said something. James chapter 4, verse 6. God resists who? The proud, and give grace to the humble. 3 verses later, he said, humble yourself in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. So sin that easily beset us, pride and arrogance. 2, we greed and materialism. Yeah. This also the sins that easily entangles us. When we focus on greed or wanting more, that leads to covetousness. And worldly things, when we focus on them, we cannot run this race and get to the finish line. You see? So what we need to do is get rid of these sins that easily beset us. So the next thing is Lust and impurity. Lust and impurity. These are some of the things that easily beset us, and we need to get rid of them to run the race of faith. When we have all these things, we cannot run the race. And another thing, envy and jealousy. Envy and jealousy. When we say envy, maybe you see something your brother have and you don't have, and you want it, or you envy him. That is negative envy. We have positive envy also, but I'm talking about the negative ones. These are some of the things we need to get rid of to help us run the race that God set before us. And the last thing that we need to get rid of is selfish and self-centeredness. Selfish and self-centeredness. Philippians 2:3-4. Romans 15:1-2. Selfishness. I want all for myself. Not thinking about the brothers. Not thinking about others. And everything that I have is me, myself, and I. No. That is selfishness. When you carry all these things, you cannot run the race well. You cannot do what? Run the race well. Now, the writer talk about weight. The writer talk about some weight because he says sin and weight. Some of the weight we carry might not necessarily be sin, but they weigh us down and we cannot run the race well. And these are the burden of comparison. Yes, we have the burden of what? Comparison. Yeah, I can sing well, and my brother cannot sing well. So I'm better than my brother. And let's flip it. Why is it that this brother can sing well and I cannot sing well? You see, these are some of the weights we need to get rid of. And number 2, the distraction of worldly cares. Yes, things that are in the world. We focus on them. These are some of the things that weigh us down. Luke 8:14. When we concentrate on the word, it will choke the words. If we come here, we listen to the sermon, we listen to the teachings, and we go back and focus on worldly things, it will choke the words. You get the words that we hear here, the message that we receive here, to take them away. Philippians 3:13-14. Paul said he looking forward to the mark. He has forgotten those things behind him and focus on. That is what we need to do. We have a target to hit. So we don't need to go back to those things. They are burden we need to get rid of. And discouragement, and then fear of failure. Discouragement and fear of failure. Sometimes we are discouraged, and some of the discouragements are unnecessary, which we need to get rid of and run the race. All these things are something like, let's say a marathon runner carry a heavy backpack with stone or bricks. Carry them at the back. He will be in the race, but he cannot run well. So all these things that we mention now are some of the backpack that we carry. That is a heavy backpack we carry. We cannot run the race well when you carry those bags. Get rid of them so that you can run easily. When you don't get rid of them, you can't run well. All these weights and sins in Christian journey must be laid aside. And also, what are you carrying that God never asked you to carry? You need to ask yourself, what am I carrying that God never asked me to carry? And also, lay aside the unnecessary burdens and free yourself to run. When you lay aside all these things, all these burdens, then run with patience. Run with what? Patience. The word patience here means endurance. The word patience here means what? Endurance. Romans 5, 3-4. Mean you need to persevere. You need to persevere to run the race. It is not easy anyway, but you have to endure to run. Now, when we look at Galatians 6, 9-10, when you are running this race, the thing that you need to do is to encourage one another. You see, not all of us can run perfectly or well. So when you see your brother limping, you have to help him. That's what we need to do while we are running this race. You see, running this race is not about who finishes first. You see, running this race is not about who finishes first. That's not what God is looking for. Running this race is about whom you lift up while you are running the race. That's what we need to do as Christians. The reward of running this race is not measured by the one who finishes first. But when you lift up your brother on the way where you are running, you are doing good. You are doing the things that God requires of us to do. Now, have you ever felt like quitting? You are not alone. Yes, you are not alone. That is why the writer said we should look at them. Who? Those who ran the race and finish. Chapter 11. You are not alone. And James said you can do it. James says you can what? Do it. Open your New Testament to James chapter 1, verse 12. And he said you can do it. He said, blessed is the man that endureth temptation. For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord had promised to them that love him. You can do it. You see, you don't need to run perfectly. Just run faithfully. That is what God requires of you and me. Just run faithfully. You see. And now, what you need to do is when you feel exhausted, don't stop running. What you need to do is you can slow down if you can, but keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. The grace or the God's grace will do what? Will carry you when your strength is God. God's grace will carry you when your strength is what? Is gone. And that grace is found in who? Christ. That is why the writer said, look to who? Look to Jesus. So that is our next point. We should look to who? To Jesus to run the race of faith. Look to Jesus. How should we look to Jesus? Looking means to fix our eyes to focus on Christ above all else. Look means to fix your eyes to focus on Christ above all else. Practically, this means what? we should do something. Imitate his endurance. We know how he suffered while on this earth. Suffered for you and me. He endured the cross. So we also, trying to spend eternity with him, we need to imitate his endurance. And we should also draw strength from his example. Yes, when we read verse 3, it said contradiction. Contradiction over there is hostility or opposition. He faced many oppositions. And when you are running the race, the Christian race today, you will face so many oppositions today. But you have to look to who? Jesus. He faced it, and he conquered everything. He win, and we must also win. And we should live for his approval. Yes. Not the applause of men. When you are running this race, don't run in such a way that men will applaud you. Oh, you are doing well. No. Live for his approval, not the approval of men. Now, what are you fixing your eyes on right now? We need to ask ourselves, what am I fixing my eyes on right now while running this race? Ask yourself, what exactly are you fixing your eyes right now? Is it the life's challenges? We are all facing life's challenges. Is it what we are fixing our eyes on? If you're fixing your eyes on it, you cannot run well. You'll be thinking about it and you lose focus. Or the discouragement, no. Leave it aside. Look to Jesus. When facing opposition, he has never been discouraged. He ran the race and finished it just for you and me. Now, the care of this life, no, or Christ. Let us fix our eyes on who? Christ, and he alone can help us run the race well. That is what we need to do as Christians. When we are discouraged, when loneliness presses in or reveals its face, fix your eyes on Jesus. Fix your eyes on who? On Jesus. He is the starting line, the finish line, and the strength in between. Paul, how did you fight the good fight? Paul says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Paul, how many things can you do? All. So when you fix your eyes on Jesus, you can conquer everything that you are facing in this life. What are you waiting for? Are you running the race? Are you still running the race? Yes. You see, the Hebrews writer gave us 3 examples. Lay aside unnecessary burdens. Lay aside everything that you think can distract you to run the race. Now, run with patience. Running this race is not measured by who finishes first. So run with patience. Slow down if you can, but keep moving forward. Now, look to Jesus, and he will give you the strength to run the race. So, having these 3 things in mind, I believe you can run the race and finish it well. But, you see, the race is hard, but the prize is worth it. The finish line is closer than you think, and the crown is waiting. Paul said, I have fought the good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. A marathon runner once said, "The sweetest moment is not crossing the finish line. It is seeing his family over there with open arms. That is the sweetest moment." Church, when we cross the finish line of our faith, Jesus is waiting there, not with a medal that faded away, but with a crown of righteousness. Don't quit. Keep running. Draw the strength from Christ and pursue the goal. You finish it with ease if you trust in Jesus. When you finish and you cross the line and you live faithfully, you receive the crown of life. If you haven't started this race and you want to start, believe the word. Repent of sins. Confess his deity, Christ. Be baptized. And then live faithfully, meaning run the race. But if you have started running and at long last maybe you find discouragement, you quit. No. Come home. The Lord is waiting for you. Come home and keep running. You know, each morning when we wake up from bed is one step closer to the gate of eternity. You know, you have to keep running because after the final heartbeat, the choice is made between eternal life and everlasting destruction. Keep running. Don't quit. Come home, if you may. Come home. And if you want to come home, stand while we sing.